Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the upcoming Tuba Christmas concert. The Grand Tubaists here in the studio with me, Jim Engelbach and Kyle Patrick. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course, I say Tuba Christmas. I off the top of my head, I'm not sure if you are actually both play the tuba or another low brass instrument. I can't remember.
Tuba family of instruments.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
The tuba family, and the family is getting together.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
For another concert.
Yep. This will be our 21st year of doing this here in Cedar Rapids. I don't know how many years Tuba Christmas has been in business around the world.
49th.
This is the 49th year.
Okay.
But will be 21 for us. So we're excited. It's been up and down the last few years with COVID, so we're excited to get back to it again.
So mention where and when, and then we'll come back to that at the end too.
We'll be at the Cedar Rapids Public Library at the downtown location on Saturday, December 10th. Registrations begin at noon, and the concert will be at 4.
So when we say registrations, this means you just come. Bring your horn, but people can download or check out the music, right, to practice ahead of time?
We use the same music year after year. So if they've been to one before, and even in another city, they're using basically the same music that we're using. So if you've been to one before, you bring your book from last year and you're all set. If you don't have one, we'll have them there to purchase. And if you buy it, and then you'll use it for however many Tuba Christmases you want to go to over the years.
So to say the group is over-rehearsed would probably be
that's a stretch.
Not quite correct.
We don't rehearse at all through the year. We accept and we encourage all ages, all skill levels. Our youngest player was, 8 years old one year?
I think 8 or 9, yeah.
His grandmother had written the music, took out all the quarter notes and all the eighth notes and wrote whole notes so he could play every measure. And it worked. So all skill levels, all ages are welcome. We will have a rehearsal the day of the concert. And that's a short one, about an hour and a half.
Yep.
So there might be some people there sight reading, but that's okay because we got enough tenured people to make up for it.
Well, and you make up for it in numbers.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the beginners that are there, but we also have the whole spectrum, right up to professional players, that are going to be there, and instructors and music teachers. So it's if we know that someone is a newbie that's only been playing for a short time, I'll usually try to set that person next to a band director that I know will help them along, and point out what they need to know, So it's a lot of fun. It's very non-threatening, let's put it that way.
We're there to have some fun.
Sure. And back at the library, Cedar Rapids Public Library this year.
Right, we're back there. We originally started. We were at Westdale Mall. We were there for several years until they went out of business, and then we had to find a new venue, and they moved us. So we partnered up with the library, and they've been terrific. We've been away from there the last 2 years because of COVID. The library did not allow us. They didn't want that large of a group in the space. Actually, in 2020, they were closed completely.
They were completely closed.
Yeah.
However, you can't keep a good player down because we still had a Tuba Christmas event where we streamed a quartet live, and anybody who wanted to play from home could, and a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So you said 21 years for Tuba Christmas in Cedar Rapids, and you both have been involved since the beginning, right?
Since day one, yep.
So tell me whose idea was it to start?
Well,
who gets the blame?
Actually, neither one of us. A young lady named Julie was playing with the Marion Municipal Band one day, as I was, and she had been to one in Des Moines before, and says, we ought to do that here.
Would this be Julie Kane from
It would
Washington
be,
High School?
yes, it absolutely would be. Great
Yeah.
lady.
Yep.
And she says, hey, why don't we do something like that there? We said, well, okay. And we had another individual that was a charter member, Sid Blair. He's not with us any longer. But Sid said, I'm going to approach some people and see if we can't get something going. Well, lo and behold, he bumps into this guy at West Music. Take it from there.
these two guys, Jim and Sid, walked into my office one day and said they were looking for a sponsor for Merry Tuba Christmas. And I think they were surprised in two ways. First of all, I knew what it was. I had actually been to a Merry Tuba Christmas by accident one time many years ago. I was in the Mall of America in Minneapolis and heard this sound and couldn't figure out what it was at first till I got closer and realized there was a bunch of tubas playing Christmas music in the center mall of the shopping center. So I knew what a Tuba Christmas was, and they were also surprised that I'm actually a low brass player myself. So I said, sure, let's do it. They were looking for somebody to help out with just getting the word out and being able to merchandise the merchandise that we're selling and things like that. And so we partnered, and we've been partnering together ever since.
What's the biggest year that you can remember in terms of participation?
Well, I have.
There's a graph. We have a graph.
Yeah, like I said, radio is a very visual medium. In 2012, at Westdale, we had 141 participants that year. That was our peak. Our first year, we didn't know what to expect. We thought, just talking amongst ourselves, we thought, if we get 20, 25 people, it'll be great. That'll be terrific. So we got about 20 books, and we got about 20 buttons, and we thought, well, we'll treat them to cookies afterwards. We got 24 cookies. We had 81 people show up that day, and we didn't have enough music. We didn't have enough chairs. We didn't have enough of anything. We were jammed into a room that was too small. But we got through it somehow. I don't know how we actually got. I remember it was frantic. That's what I remember. But then this has grown ever since.
So now, of course, it's called Merry Tuba Christmas, and we said, the family of tubas and related instruments. Low brass is another musical term. But there are, I'm betting that there are, instruments that are a part of this that people bring that you don't see very often, that aren't a part of a regular concert band or jazz band. So, what are some of the more unique or rare instruments that you see?
The most unique, and I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, it was an Ophicleide.
I think that's the way you do pronounce it.
I think it's called Ophicleide, which looks like a Barry sax, but has a brass mouthpiece. And I had never heard of such a thing before, but one year I think we had two of them show up. And there's been a couple other times that people have showed up with an Ophicleide, which, like I said, I hadn't even heard of. And then and I'm trying to think of the name of the horn. I can't think of it. The predecessor to the sousaphone with the bell.
Helicon.
Helicon. I couldn't think of that. We've had Helicons show up. You don't see a lot of those around. Occasionally, I take my my Peckhorn and get ridiculed constantly when I have it there because it's like a soprano tuba. It's a miniature tuba in the key of F, and I get ridiculed whenever I take it. So I'll take it again.
Every once in a while, we actually have an instrument that will show up with two bells on it.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yep.
Yeah. Helicons, Ophicleides, and Peckhorns. Oh my!
Pretty much.
So it's not just. But you have. I mean, you've got the whole range. Trombones, euphoniums.
Stop.
No
slidey horns.
No slidey horns. Oh,
valve.
Not even only.
No. They have to be in the tuba family, which would be the baritones, euphoniums, tubas. Sousaphones,
Ophicleides, Peckhorns.
Your Peckhorn is welcome, but your trombone is not.
No slidey things. But that's trombone Christmas. That's a whole different thing.
We're not involved.
I know you bring in a different guest director every year. Who is it this year?
This year we're having Chris Bird, who's the band director at Harding Middle School,
and a low brass and bass player of note,
a wonderful tuba player, and electric bass. He plays with a lot of bands around town. I'm sure you've seen him. Accomplished tuba player, plays in the municipal band, and he's a good friend. I've known Chris for 20 years, so it's going to be fun having him there. We've had some great directors over the years, and like Jim once said, nobody that we've ever asked has said no. and it is not a high-paying gig.
We don't use the phrase that we're low budget. We are no budget.
Yeah.
I mean, if we break even, we're happy.
Yeah, right. But we've had some great people over the years. I made a list, and I probably have left somebody off. We started out originally. Steve Shanley was our director, who at the time was a band director at Washington High School, and Julie Kane had asked him to do it. He directed several years, and then we had Thad Driscoll from Jefferson High School. We had Dr. Carson from Coe. We had Aaron Nuss from Linmar, Dr. Michelle Perrin-Blair, who was the orchestra director at the time at Coe College, Joe Perea from right here in Kirkwood, Steve Stickney from Mount Mercy, and last year we had Blaine Cunningham, who's the principal tuba for Orchestra Iowa. So it's been a good group, and we've been very lucky and fortunate to have those people helping us out.
Pretty heady company there.
Yeah.
So it's Merry Tuba Christmas at the Cedar Rapids Public Library on Saturday, December 10th, yes?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. And so you said there's a rehearsal prior to the actual concert, so what is the timing where everything works?
Like I said, registration will go from noon to 12:30, and from 12:30 to about 2:30 will be the rehearsal. We allow some free time for anybody that wants to go over something they'd like to go over again. A lot of people will decorate their horns for that time. And then we form back up at 3:30 and get ready to go to the concert at 4, because we have to move some logistical things around. We have to clear some chairs and get people from upstairs to downstairs and into the main vestibule of the library. So
if you're interested in participating, come around 12:30.
Right.
If you just want to come and hear the music, it's 4 o'clock.
Yep.
Right. And we mentioned registration for the participants, and there is a registration fee of $10 that most of that goes to the Harvey Phillips Foundation, who's the company that owns the rights to Tuba Christmas.
we sign a contract with the foundation every year.
Yes.
And but for the spectators that come, there is no fee. You're free to come and go as you want.
And sing along.
We encourage that. And the library has a lot of chairs, but to be safe, you might want to bring a folding chair just in case
the tubas take up all the chairs. Which is certainly possible. if you have a big response.
Yeah.
Well, so glad to have this back in full force again this year. And do you have presence on social media or online if people are looking for to download the music or get more information?
We do have a website. It would be www.crtubachristmas.com.
Yeah, we do have a Facebook page under the Heavy Metal Tuba Band, which is an offshoot of this group. But we don't have at this point capability of downloading music online. It is copyrighted music, and we haven't worked that out yet.
Sure.
So there's got to be a way. We're hoping, I'm hoping anyway, that next year we can get a little more online presence going on so that we can get pre-registrations online and things like that. But neither one of us is all that tech savvy, so we need somebody to come along and help us out with that.
All right. Well, it's crtubachristmas.com if you'd like more information, or just show up, bring your horn if you're interested in participating, or just come to the concert Saturday, December 10th at the Cedar Rapids Public Library at 4 o'clock. Jim, Kyle, thanks for being here.
Thanks
you,
for having
Dennis.
us.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:20 or 10:30, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.